Hi there, how are you? How's everybody doing? Ooh, it's been a while since I talked like this. A year ago, I think, we talked about the MotoEye, the unit, that it's absolutely amazing. And I cannot imagine riding without it, especially when I have this helmet. It's like the number one thing that I always love to have. Not only to record the trips, because I put like a 512 gigabyte card and I record the entire week of riding, but also just to have it, play music, stop music, and use the Android Auto, because I use Android navigation, Google Maps, or let's say you need to charge, and you can just select in charge point the closest location that is available, perhaps even free of charge, and it will show you and it will automatically navigate you to it without opening the phone app or anything like this. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, oh yeah. So, MotoEye and EUC WORLD. Let's talk about it. Yeah. You can load the EUC WORLD right in your view. So that's how it looks like. You have a nice view there. You can see the trip, the data, and obviously whatever you select in EUC WORLD app, you can change, right? And then it will display it. So I switch it to the rear view camera. You can see clearly what's behind you, plus you have the EUC WORLD dial with all the data. And then you can toggle back. Look at this, my battery is running low, so I didn't charge it. This runs as a companion, not as a standalone. In fact, you need to set your phone as a hotspot. You need to enable your Wi-Fi, make a Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone, and this device connects to your phone's Wi-Fi. So you're constantly gonna be running your hotspot, which will drain your phone battery a little bit faster and the MotoEye battery a little bit faster as well, since the MotoEye is now connected to your phone, not via Bluetooth, but using a Wi-Fi. And you can always get external power bank, USB-A to USB-C cable, and run it and charge it, which is okay. Unfortunately, it does not have a support for USB-C to USB-C. And there's also another option that you buy the external power bank they sell directly on MotoEye website, and you can use that to boost the life for the device for a little bit. It's not by much, especially if you're gonna be doing recording and especially if you're gonna be in a cold weather, but you might end up 3-4 more hours of additional time. I prefer to use the external power bank because I connect it directly to just the USB-A, and I'm fine with it. As of the device, as I mentioned, remember this is not a standalone thing. Okay, so you cannot run the EUC WORLD on it connected directly to your wheel. In fact, you do have to use your phone all the time, your Android phone all the time, and your EUC WORLD app on your phone has to be running as a web server. When you do that, it will connect seamlessly. Once you do the first initial connection, then it will connect automatically. But keep in mind that the phones on the Android, the hotspot gets turned off, so you always have to manually turn it on first, then run the EUC WORLD, then connect the HUD to that. There's an icon that it says EUC WORLD. You just click on it and it will connect. If you get disconnected, you can use your remote that you have in your hand, and you can obviously just click to connect and it will connect fine. Now, in the city, where there's a lot of, networks, a lot of Wi-Fi networks, you might end up having a little difficulties. Time to time it will disconnect, or there might be some lag. It's to be expected, again, it's using wireless connection. Even though it's right next to each other, your phone might not have the strongest signal, so expect that. And the reason why I'm saying this is, if people want to use this as a some kind of dashboard for doing speed runs, keep in mind that there is a slight delay. It's minimal, but there is a slight delay. It can be longer, and because of that, I would never recommend you to stare at it and do a speed run and think that, hey, I'm still good, I still have 10% more of PWM and or safety margin, and this way you might end up cutting out. Just keep in mind that this should be more as an information when you do long trips, when you want to see your distance, your battery, your voltage, etc., etc. But don't use that as a guide, okay? Just keep it as an information, okay? I am really, really happy about this. This makes me so happy because I wanted this from the very beginning. And when I asked Sebastian last year if he would be able to make it, I am sure he didn't plan to be 1 year. But guys, I also have to be very grateful for his effort in this, because the EUC World app needs constant updates, since all the new wheels coming up and models, and the company's changing the protocols, how things are obviously sent to the phones, to the apps. So I'm really, really grateful he found the time to do this, and I am so happy that he let me test it and give him some feedback. I already did on some stuff, so let him master this, let him make this perfect, and I'm sure that once it's out there, you all gonna enjoy this. I think that spending $600, it's obviously a decision that it's not easy. It's a lot of money for the device. I understand that, but if you think in retrospective what it can do, well, it can play your music. It can obviously use your Cardo or your Senna. It can record videos front and back. It can navigate you, answer phone calls, all that stuff, and now also include EUC WORLD and get you telemetry from your wheel. Again, I'm speechless. It's fantastic. Really, really, it makes me really happy. Now, of course, the device is not without its flaws, and I did have some issues. I had an issue with this mount that broke. I contacted them and they sent me 2 of them free of charge. Unbelievable. Last year when I made that video, this camera had issue. I was getting lines. I talked to them. They sent me another one free of charge, and they even included extra power bank. Amazing. In fact, I had the same issue mid-July, and guess what? They sent me another one free of charge. So the company is absolutely amazing. They even made me custom firmware for the unit, because I asked them to be able to record front and back of the the images, and not to keep it as a one file combined together, but record it separately. So I have a front-facing view and I have the rear-facing view. I recorded the video as a file. However, since this is not a device designed for high-end video production, it can only do in this mode 720, okay, 720p per each file. So you're gonna get 720 from the front, 720 from the back. I think the front camera is a slight afterthought, that originally they made the back, which the quality is absolutely amazing, and then they made this one because people told them. Look, 720 is not good for YouTube. Plus it's shaky because there's no gyro stabilization or anything like this. But it's better to have rather than not. Also, when you're riding at night and you have your lights, or if you have, let's say, helmet lights, the image gets very overexposed. So if you want to, let's say, ride and you ride behind a car that's been doing some shit, because you would be using this as your dash cam, it does overexpose to the point you're not gonna be able to see the license plate. Hence I put this little DJI, it was Mavic Pro original filter set. I don't know who sold these. It's like ND16 or ND32, something like that. That will bring it 4 stops down, and then in that case, during the day like this, when it's sunny, the image looks absolutely amazing, even at 720. And at night, yeah, you're not gonna see most of the scene, but you are able to see the cars, you're able to see the streets, you know, and you're able to see the license plates. So for me, that was the most important part. Because if I want a really high quality image, I just use this, the DJI Action, or I use the Osmo Pocket, or I use my, you know, mirrorless camera or DSLR camera. So that is something that I understand, that the hardware is not really designed to output 4K, super high quality. It does not have the Sony sensor, that it's a very low light, but it's good enough. I love it. And in fact, every time I ride and something happens, like let's say my mirror breaks, I can use this device to record and still use the rear view. You know, when you set it up into the mirror, you can use that all the time as a constant mirror. And especially if you get used to riding with mirrors and riding looking back, sort of, you know that you save, you know, when there's a car coming from your left side, from your right side, from your blind spots, you see it. Unfortunately, when you have that and you use something like a Cardo or you use something like a Senna, it will not work together in terms of your video footage and audio. It cannot use the Cardo's audio, it cannot use the Senna's audio. You would have to use the supplied microphone and you know, the system that they had, which is, again, it's okay. The way now I have it connected, because Cardo lets you have 2 phones connected, I have this connected as a phone 2, and my normal phone I have connected as a phone 1 to the Cardo, and I can still do all the operations here, navigation, etc. The Android Auto on it is okay. I try not to use it that much. For me, that I don't really, you know, I don't really care about the Android Auto, even though it does have the features like the charge point or other stuff. It can also have Waze loaded, but on the Waze, unfortunately, there are no bike pads. So if you're on a bike pad, it's all confused and it's moving the screen left and right, and again, not the best. So as I said, it's an amazing device. I absolutely love it. I would recommend you to buy it as well. Wait for the official release from Sebastian. He will definitely write about it and talk about it. I'm happy I was given the chance to test it. I would probably not buy this for having it as a display to look at when you're doing speed runs. I would expect that there's some slight latency, a few milliseconds, but I would not depend on that to watch for safety margin and stuff like this. Other than that, it's absolutely fantastic. Come on, guys. EUC WORLD in your HUD display. Oh my. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody.